I would like to present to you the branding campaign, which had the slogan to prevent gun violence. The purpose of the campaign is to prevent or reduce the amount of gun violence. It's a political purpose, and it's a political campaign. And the campaign has three sub-campaigns, which is Finish the Job, which I will tell you about. Then it's Stop the Bad Apple Gun Dealers, which I will tell you about. And it's the change of social norms, which I also will tell you about. But first you need to get some background information. Every year 300,000 people are injured by guns, and thereof 10,000 people are killed. And that is the numbers which the branding campaign will reduce. The first campaign is Finish the Job. And it says that the gun dealers will have to make a better background check than they already do. Because it is so that if a person wants to buy a handgun, he needs to go and get a background check at the store. But in America, every year there are sold more millions of guns which have no where there have been done no background checks at all, and therefore the campaign Finish the Job wants to reduce that number. Today, 82% of the branded background checks is done through the National Instant Crime Background Checks System, shortened NYECS or NICE, and are completed while the FBI is on the phone with the dealer and therefore can approve the purchaser of the gun. So the gun purchaser will not have to be or should not be in a or should not have a previously felony conviction or in any other way be illegally able to purchase a gun. And more than 100 million of these checks have been done in the last decade, and that leads to more than 700,000 denials towards dangerous people who wanted to buy a handgun or any other gun or firearm. And even though the policy of Finish the Job had done huge improvements, there's still sold more than 40%. Still the more than 40% of the guns sold in the United States go unchecked, which made it possible for dangerous people to get them. Then I'll show you a video which you can find here. I've just done that already.
Bad things. But the one thing he's missing, beat Mr. Bad Guy. He's done a lot of really bad things. But the one thing he's missing is a gun. Good thing a Brady background check blocks him from getting a gun at the gun store. No gun for you. But he's not gonna stop. He's a bad guy, not a quitter. So he goes online where he doesn't even need a background check to buy a gun. Score for Mr. Bad Guy. Easy peasy. And ta-da! Now he can do even badder bad guy things. And just think, 40% of gun sales happen just like this. Thousands every day. No Brady background check. So why won't Congress fix this? Maybe they're rooting for the bad guys. Tell Congress to stop helping bad guys get guns. Sign the petition to finish the job and demand Brady background checks on all gun sales.
Yes. As you can see, that was a video for the gun laws explained, or at least the branding campaign Finish the Job explained. Then we go on to the next sub-campaign, which is Stop the Bad Apple Gun Dealers. and the bad gun dealers are the dealers who still sells the guns without a background check, but just on purpose sell them to bad people or to people who would fail a background check. This sub-campaign is made to draw attention to the people or the organization which are trying to detect and unravel trafficking networks of illegal purchased guns and firearms. One of these organizations is the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosive, shortened ATF, which is a bureau that do exactly that. The campaign also tries to lay pressure on the cities so that the city could sue the bad apple gun dealers. In fact, on one of the fact sheets, the Brady campaign's poster tells that the New York City sued 27 bad apple gun dealers, which led to a drop at 84% in the likelihood that a weapon from one of these dealers would end up in a to be involved in an illegal act. All across America, it's likely that 1% of the bad apple gun dealers sell about 60% of the guns used to commit criminal activity. For example, in the city of Indianapolis in NYIN, 10 gun dealers sold more than 70% of the crime guns. And that is what the Bad Apple campaign wants to defeat. The change of social norms. The third campaign, the change of social norms, has a lot of ideas how to involve or how to reduce the amount of people getting killed by guns. It's important with good plans to prevent the gun or to prevent the criminals to get guns as easily. But they have realized, the campaign makers have realized that the gun dealers it will not work until you change the social norms of guns. This campaign wants to convince people that they do not need guns, and if the people behind the campaign succeeds in convincing them, they will stop buying as many guns. And as we all have read in Don't Buy a Handgun or Don't Buy a Gun, even legal guns often kills or get someone innocent killed. So it's not necessarily a good thing to have guns. And people also need to be instructed in how to safely store a gun if they want to have a gun for hunting or so, even though they know it's much more likely that a gun will kill some of their nearest people in the house during a burglary. So that even though they want to have a gun for hunting, they have to make it harder for people to steal the gun and to store, therefore to store it safely. Therefore, the people need to store it safely. That would also lead to a decrease in the number of deaths, or at least a decrease in the number of guns available for the bad guys. And that is also one of the reasons why the branding campaign exists. And do we in the group think that the campaign works? We actually do think that it does something. We can see that some of the bad apple gun dealers and the Brady background check helps, but we cannot see how it should change the social norms. At least we cannot see it now, because there haven't been so much data from the last years in the drop of gun being sold. And even though one of the things that the campaign did have influence on are the likelihood of gun being sold on the internet to people without a background check. As we could see in the video, it was 40% of the guns were sold on the internet without a background check, and we cannot see why that should be changed by the campaign, unless all the people in the United States wants to change that and therefore make it a law. Det optager stadig.
Nej, lad være.